Hello and welcome to Tea Talk. So hello, and this is another episode of Tea Talk, and Tea Talk is a collaboration video series that I make with other YouTubers and talk about what mental health means to them. So this episode this week is about diet talk and the dangers of diet talk and how it affected both of us with our mental health, as well as how we sort of try and swerve away from it now and how we try and tackle it.
Yes.
The dangers of diet talk. I definitely find that, as we've both been in with eating disorders, that it's very easily sinks in.
Oh, easily, yeah, very easily. Yeah, I think like diet talk for anyone, I think particularly like young girls and young boys as well, like of any gender, I think it affects you. But I think, if you've had eating disorders in the past or if you're vulnerable to eating disorders, diet talk and diet culture is like, can be really triggering.
It can be. When I was a kid, I never, like, my mum was very, adamant, like, oh, this stuff that they say on the radio, because it was, for me, always on the radio, like, what was good for you, what was bad for you, what would give you cancer, because apparently everything gives you cancer.
Yeah,
according
exactly.
to it, like, bacon was the last one that I heard.
Oh, every food has been on that list.
So I always had a mum who was like, oh, this is, like, so stupid, you can, like, just eat, eat what you fancy, eat what you want. And I think I've been very, like, grateful for that in my life.
I think you've had, like, that influence saying that moderation is key. I think that's an important factor.
Definitely.
You have to pay such close detail. Obviously, it's important to eat healthily. I'm not disputing that, but there's so much focus on eating the right amount of all your macros and, like, having not too many saturated fats and everything. It really, like, it makes you focus so much on what you're eating and less on, like, what food actually is.
It does. You're not, like, thinking this, like, I want this food because I feel like having this food. It's, I'm having this food because someone else told me it was this and this for me, or it was such and such. So either way, you're either going to feel sort of happy in a weird sense, or you're going to feel, like, terribly guilty.
Exactly.
And also, like, diet talk has brought in, like, words such as, I unfollow anyone that uses the word indulgent in their food. They're like, oh, this is, like, so naughty or so indulgent.
Exactly. It's like the language of food culture. It's like, it's unnecessary. Food isn't good or bad. Food is food.
Yeah, definitely. And we're coming into March, and there's this whole thing about, like, this detox thing that goes around.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
It's an amazing thing, isn't it? Particularly because when it came round in 2015, so this was the year I was recovering, and I latched onto that idea so badly because it was, an eating disorder thing. Oh, I could give something up, and
it's restricting.
Restricting. I have control over that. But actually, you're only going to go back into those habits.
It's a slippery slope, for sure.
That, and I remember I had a vegan, like, teacher, like, media teacher who was, like, really passionate.
And veganism is another one. Very crosswise with veganism. It's not everyone does it just for the animals and the environment. Like, a lot of the people who do it and who are advocates of veganism have very disordered mindsets about food, and it's all about restriction. Whether that comes through in what they say or not is not always the case.
But I know that I can't go vegan. I wanted to during recovery. I desperately wanted to, but it wasn't for the right reasons.
No, exactly.
It was so, how much weight could I lose?
Exactly. There's a myriad of reasons why people can or can't be vegan, like for health and mental health, physical health. There's so many reasons. It's not like veganism isn't just a diet that anyone can adopt. It's just not viable.
It's just not. And also the marketing as well that goes with it. Even though sometimes it doesn't, it primarily attacks people with a lot more money. Like middle class.
I mean, veganism is expensive. If you have all the substitutes and everything, people will argue that, you can eat cheaply with, like, beans and pulses and rice and stuff on a vegan diet, but for a lot of people who have the luxury of being able to be vegan, they do have, like, a nice diet, and, like, that is quite luxury. And people from a whole different range of, socioeconomic backgrounds just can't afford to be vegan healthily, and you have to put your health first. If you can't do it healthily, you shouldn't be doing it.
No, you shouldn't. With diet talk, like, how did it affect you? And maybe not even, like, during your eating disorder, maybe, like, beforehand, because usually...
Yeah, well, I mean, like, since being a child, and you're the same probably, you've been brought up with, like, New Year, New Me, like, New Year culture about, like, join up to the gym and, go on a new diet, and you can't... It's virtually impossible to go out shopping without being bombarded by diet culture, because there's so many products, like magazines and you know, diet pills and protein shakes that are aimed at weight loss. You can't go shopping without being told that you're not valid unless you're trying to lose weight or look differently.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you don't, it's impossible, even if you're perfectly healthy, to go out and believe that you're valid without having to change the way that you look.
Did you ever diet yourself?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, before I was fully anorexic and bulimic, I was dieting for many years. I think it's almost like most people I knew, most girls, and you know, a lot of boys as well, now it's become a thing with like muscle building, but that's a different thing. Most young girls in my school, at least, and I think this is pretty widespread, were dieting from like age 12 onwards, you know, limiting the amount of sugar you have, saying I shouldn't have carbs, you know. And obviously, like, it's so difficult because moderation is key, but to be having the mindset that you have to restrict your diet at age 12, I think is quite extreme. You're a child, age 12.
You are a child. I can't believe that. Like, I always think, like, even when I was 15, when I started mine, around about like 14, 15 years old, I was like, oh, I still think that's quite young. And then you hear people who like find their first diet magazine at 5, 7-year-olds are like so into their body, and I'm like, but I don't remember ever thinking like
it's
that.
The problem that's got worse, I think, definitely.
It is.
I read a study recently and it said that girls as young as 6 are finding problems in the way that they look at the moment. As young as 6?
As young as 6?
I don't think I even thought about the way I looked when I was 6. I was just playing.
I don't remember. I think,
no memories of when I was 6.
No memory. It's sure I was just like colouring and making that sweet glitter picture in nursery.
But it's diet culture and diet talk infiltrates children now, and that's just the world we live in. I think it needs to change.
It has to change. You know that the world or society is going downhill if children are being affected by the way that they look.
Definitely.
Did you find that in your eating disorder that you were more perceptible, like you had what I call like a thinner skin when it came to people like talking about what they were doing in their life and thinking, I'm not doing that, maybe I should do what they're doing?
Definitely. I mean, even now, like, I'm sure like you would agree that recovery takes years and years. You can be weight restored and still be in recovery. That's a common misconception of eating disorders. But no matter at what stage you are of your eating disorder recovery, I think just hearing people say like, I shouldn't have this because that's a bit naughty, or just like, I'm gonna have a salad because I had this yesterday, and trying to like compensate for what they ate, that is really triggering, because you think, oh my god, I had that yesterday, so I shouldn't be eating this today. Like, other people saying I shouldn't be doing this, you believe that you shouldn't be doing it either.
You do. And only recently that I've realised that people have come up to me recently, and it's probably because, you know, there's probably grief involved, or there's probably been stress involved due to like things that have happened on my course or in my personal life, but people have come up and said, oh, you've lost weight, Eleanor, as in like it's a positive thing. And
complimenting weight loss is something I don't love.
Also, I don't know, there's a part of me in the part of my brain that goes, did you not like me before?
Or like, was I not like attractive before I lost weight? Like, you know, what was I not valid? Was I not compliment worthy before I seemingly lost weight?
Exactly.
It's an odd system. I would never, even before I had disorderly eating habits, I would never compliment someone's weight loss. I don't know, there's so many things that you can compliment. I just think the way that you look naturally is not something that needs to be commented on like that.
Yeah, it's not like a factor. Like, for some reason everyone's opinion about your body is now seen as valid because of diet talk and everything, and suddenly your body's everyone's opinion, it's everyone's part of their life that they should talk about. But actually my body is mine.
So rather than compliment somebody for something physical like weight loss, you can compliment so many other things. There's just, why compliment weight loss? It perpetuates diet talk. It really does.
It does, and it's the byproduct of what we have now, which is such a pain that I cannot believe it.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. It really is.
Oh, so now recovery. I definitely found that when I was in like first year of recovery, you're sort of in that, you expect it to sort of be like, suddenly I'm free of all my woes and all my diet talk, but actually it's a lot harder.
Oh yeah, it is a lot harder.
It's external as well as internal.
Yeah, I mean, like, eating disorders is like, it's a psychiatric illness, so it does have internal and external factors that affect it. So yeah, what people say and the kind of environment that you live in really does affect how like speedy your recovery is, really. I mean, the problem is that an eating disorder voice is very, very similar to the voice of diet culture. They're virtually the same thing, because your eating disorder voice is telling you gaining weight is the worst possible thing, and when you go out into the shops and you see all the magazines promoting weight loss, diet culture is also telling you that weight loss is the worst possible thing. So now people are trying to lose weight. They'd rather be skinny than be a nice person or be intelligent or you know, be happy. Weight loss is the ultimate goal, and weight gain is the worst possible thing that can happen. It's what we're told, and it's wrong.
How do you now try and stay away from diet talk in your life?
It's tricky. I mean, like, it's almost impossible to get away from it completely. I try and counteract it a lot by following body positive accounts on social media. That's a major one for me. Massive, like, aid in recovery was following body positive accounts on Instagram. So easy to find as well. Just type in like body positivity onto Instagram, and so many amazing accounts that will just counteract all the like toxic poison you'll see about having to lose weight. Also, I unfollowed people that made me feel insecure about my body on social media. I think social media is such a major influence, especially of young people, when it comes to diet culture and the way you perceive yourself. So I think unfollowing people who have like negative influence on your self-esteem is a major thing, and kind of avoiding diet culture.
Definitely start following people, just body positive panda.
Yeah,
and then you can
exactly.
sort of,
she's a queen.
She is an amazing queen. But if you could like start from there, or like Scarred Not Scared, which was my one.
Yeah.
She's like amazing. And then like you can go on from there, because they then recommend you so many other accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
And slowly you'll find, or I find, that your feed is full of like positive messages.
Yeah.
That you can
slowly your mind will rewire itself to start believing that no matter what you look like, you can still be a nice person, you can still be a kind person, you can still feel good about yourself. It's not, your body doesn't define who you are as a person.
Also, I remember for me to start on this was Whitney Wayfor, and she talked about body shaming. I came across her by accident, I think, body shaming, and all of like fat shaming, body shaming, and I was like, what? Like, this is a thing, and this is obviously a thing that we don't get talked about in our diet culture industry that we live in. Like, body shaming just isn't a thing, but it is apparent.
It's a major thing. Yeah.
It is a major thing. So then finding out about like what body shaming is and how you can like help other people, and also the biggest one is the Grace F. Victory talks about the little child.
Yeah.
And how if you wouldn't talk to yourself or your body or what you eat to your 7-year-old self, then why should you do it to you?
Yeah.
Why should you do it to yourself?
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that likes to imagine yourself, then by all means, like, start doing that and see what messages you're saying to yourself and how you can counteract that. And also learn about, like, if you are, like, craving something that isn't seen as, like, good or, like, bad,
Clean.
which is clean.
Yeah.
Oh, clean, don't get me started.
Clean eating.
It's also, I think the one big little thing that we can like do is, if we fancy something and that won't go away, then chances are your body wants it and your body's going to crave it. And if you eat it, at a time where you don't normally, or if you have an eating disorder where your eating disorder tells you can't, then that's like sticking the middle finger up at diet culture.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is, like, moderation is key with anything, especially food. If you eat something with a high fat content, or that's got a lot of calories in it, or got a lot of sugar in it, it's not gonna kill you as long as you eat it in a healthy, balanced diet, you know?
Yeah.
But diet culture will tell you if you eat chocolate, you're automatically unhealthy. Even if you eat it one day and then never again, you've done an unhealthy thing, and that's just not true.
It's not true.
Exactly.
Stick your middle finger up at diet culture, kids. So thank you, Izzy,
thank you for having me.
For coming on and just talking about diet culture and everything.
It was fun.
It was so much. If you want to subscribe to Izzy, and you should, because it's a really good channel, I will leave her channel at the end of this video and also in the description bar below if you'd like to. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of Tea Talk. Bye!